Hey everybody, check out what I have. It's a 2021 re-release of a Tiger handheld game. They did this last year and looks like they're doing it a little bit this year too. This is for ages 8 and up, runs on 2 AA batteries. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And if we look at the back, we get some screenshots. We get a description that looks like it's been taped on. There's this piece of tape over it, and it says that's from 1994. Interesting change this year. The packaging has no protective covering over the unit itself, so the screen could get scratched up fairly easily, I suspect, but thankfully mine appears to be in decent condition. Let's go ahead and take this out of the packaging and see how it plays. Okay, here it is out of the package. Looks very similar to the original release from 1994, I believe they said. The back is where you're going to see most of the differences. Now the battery compartment has a screw on it to keep it in place, and there's this little plastic divider that moves a little bit, which wasn't in the original. And there are these pair of holes on either side and the bottom where the string was run through to tie it to the packaging. So let's go ahead and see the game itself. So we have a D-pad, so up to jump. Down really doesn't do much, honestly. Left to go back to basically dodge attacks, and then right to move forward. You got an off, sound, pause, start button. Then we have a kick and a punch on top, and then a call. Once per level, you can call a fellow ranger to help you. You play as Jason the entire game, but these other guys can help you. There's a little symbol of them on top when they come to help you. And that basically lets you know which ranger it is, because they all look like they're the Black Ranger in an LCD game because it's just black and white. And a morph. So usually with Jason, you'll be the Dinozord or whatever they call that. But if you're facing a powered up boss, you can actually use the Megazord, and I will get into that as we get into the game. So let's go ahead and zoom in. It's Morphin time. Let's play some Power Rangers. So here we go. Just some beeps and boops. All right, so I can press up to jump, and I can also kick or punch in the air, and I can kick and punch on the ground. I can press back just to duck for a minute, and from there I can jump into battle. And if I press jump and then right, let me see if I can pull it off, I could do a kick. Now that jump kick will not do anything to these basic enemies. It's very ineffective, never hits them, but it is useful against the bosses. So the bosses you can morph against, but you can also fight every boss as a ranger. You do not have to morph. So I'm going to morph for a second, and you can see right now I'm just the Dinozord, and I'm shooting a projectile, but morphing will drain your energy from time to time. At the top of the screen, you see my little symbol. That's how many lives I have left. So I have 1 life in reserve. You start with 2 in reserve, and you saw right there, I ran out of energy, and it took away one of my symbols. So when you die, you don't stop. So let's call for help. And there comes another ranger. Calling for a ranger, they can attack in areas you can't reach, like that far upper corner area, which is nice. But what is not helpful is they get in the way. So if they're in an area where you want to move, you can't move there, which really limits you. So in later levels, I actually found them to be quite a hindrance. I actually don't call them that often because I actually find it easier just to take care of stuff on my own. So let's see if I can get to the boss. So this jump kick I did at the end, when the boss shows up, Rita will throw her staff to try to power them up. And if you do that jump kick I showed you where you go up, right, kick, you can kick the staff away before that powers them up. If it powers them up, however, you can call the Megazord to do battle. But honestly, it's almost better if you just do battle in your ranger form, which doesn't make sense because, of course, in the show is all about teaming up and forming the Megazord at the end. But in this game, it's just not effective. And I'll show you when we get there. So eventually the bad guy will show up. You can, when you're standing and there's no other enemies around, you can press right to run to the right, but it doesn't really seem to matter. And when they're here, you can't really do it because like that guy's standing in my way basically, so I can't move. So let's see if we can take these guys out. I'm almost out of life bar. And I can't reach them up there. And sometimes you can get a double jump kick in. Sometimes you can get a double jump kick in when you're up in the air. If you keep pressing the kick button, you can actually do 2 hits. Okay, so now here comes the staff. I didn't kick him out. But if I morph now, I'm in trouble. So I just have to do my jump kick. So this is the enemy. This enemy shows up at the end of every stage except for the 5th and final one where Rita shows up. I have not made it to her yet. And he also shows up at the beginning of the 3rd and the 4th stages just in a regular form. But right now I'm just kicking him in the head just like you would, which sounds very like kids don't do this at home. I actually had a teacher who used to say, kick you in the head, lad. And I passed it. So now I'm at stage 2. And here at stage 2, you start out with both your extra lives and a full life bar. So that's nice. They refill your health after every stage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play for a few minutes. And I'm going to skip ahead and hopefully get to the end with some more life left so I can call the Megazord so you can see what that is like. All right, here we are at the end. So I'm going to morph, and here comes all my guys. So I can jump up and use a punch button. I can also punch from the side here, but it's not super effective. So your most effective thing is to jump up and to fire your projectile. But because it drained my energy and I didn't have a lot of energy left, I am now dead and my game is over. It does save the high score while the batteries are in it, which is kind of nice. You know, I think once the batteries are out, my guess is the high score will be erased. But overall, it's mildly entertaining for one of these Tiger handheld games. Not a big Power Rangers fan, but I can imagine if you grew up with the Rangers, especially the original ones, this might appeal to you. This is at Amazon.com for $15.99. I also saw it at GameStop.com for $14.99. So basically, you're looking at a $15 retail, which I think is a great price point for these relaunches of these Tiger handheld games. It's not, $20. It's not too much. I think it's a fair price point. I do wish the packaging protected the screen better, that it had like even a film that you peeled off, which this one unfortunately does not. So if you order it online, you're kind of at the whim and will if the shipper takes care of it or if it's in good condition or not. I would rather find these on store shelves so I could inspect it. But that's just me. Anyways, I do plan on reviewing some other re-releases for 2021, so stay tuned. You can also check out my 2020 re-releases that they released 4 of these last years, like The Little Mermaid and X-Men and such, in my older videos. But thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of these re-releases in the comments below. I know I'm in the minority. I actually like these things. And I will see you next time on the next Noswhere Gamer video.